Welcome everybody to Geekvice episode 206, proving any vice with enough geek can become a virtue. My name's Morph. That man's Kip. Good evening, Kip.
Good evening. I just
We
realized watching the intro that we haven't changed the logo on the intro video.
we haven't done that. I didn't even think about that until you just said that. We should probably do that because we need to use the new logo because our new logo's badass, which you can see right down there if you're watching the video. If you're not, you can watch it. You can see it like right here on the whole screen because I think that's usually what it does on iTunes now. Yeah. So we need to do that. We need to make that change. I also need to change it in the Geekvice Gaming stuff too. Or maybe I'll just leave that one for Geekvice Gaming and we can use this one for this show. I don't know. All the behind the scenes stuff. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, we'll take the lazy way out. I know us.
Yeah, probably. Well, especially since I've already got episodes already recorded and put up on the YubTubs for Geekvice Gaming almost all the way through the month of February. So, and I might even be going 3 days a week because I've got 5 more episodes sitting on my hard drive here that need to be uploaded to YouTube that I'm going to do tonight. So
sounds like somebody's overachieving.
Somebody's playing a lot of video games is what he's doing, and he's found out that if he, I don't go to bed until, midnight, 1 o'clock anyway, especially on the weekends. And so if I'm going to do that and I'm going to play video games, I should just record it and get like 3 and 4 episodes in one sitting. So makes it a whole lot easier when you just sit here and just keep playing. So yeah, I only end up with like some goofy things. Like if you tuned in a couple of weeks ago on a Friday night, I ended up pushing the wrong button to record and actually was broadcasting on the live stream me playing a video game. So you could have chimed in, watched a whole episode of Geekvice Gaming that's not going to get released for like another couple weeks.
You could have heckled.
Yeah. I had no idea I was doing the live stream until I got done, and I'm like, oh, whoops. So I quickly went in and deleted that off of YouTube, and but yeah, someone could have been watching, and I would have never known because I didn't even have YouTube open to see the stream health or anything like that, or to see the channel, see the chat, or anything like that. Because I didn't realize I was doing it. So good to know that I don't have to have all that stuff open to be able to do that. Who knows?
Hey, I like happy accidents.
Yeah. Another happy accident would be like the trailer that got released just this today, I think. Deadpool 2 trailer.
Yeah, dropped this morning.
The real trailer for it. That was fun. You know what? I have to say that the way they do these Deadpool trailers, where they give absolutely nothing of the story away, like that trailer is literally nothing but eye candy. I mean, there's nothing in there of any note. I mean, other than there's the chick with the fro, which I'm not really sure.
Domino.
Is that supposed to be Domino?
That is Domino.
There we go. So we got Domino in it. There was the I always screw up her name, but
Megasonic.
Yeah, she's back. Then of course we see Cable. That was awesome. But I just kind of love the idea that they took so the first part of the trailer, if you haven't seen it, the first part of the trailer, you see Cable, but he just has this green sleeve over his arm, and Deadpool stops, Ryan Reynolds stops him, and he goes, whoa, what's going on? Why are the visual effects not done yet? Which I thought was hilarious, especially after what happened to the first time he played Deadpool in a Marvel movie, which was Wolverine Origins, which ended up getting leaked without the visual effects in it, and everyone said, "Oh, that's not a big deal. The visual effects will be fine. Like we get them in, the movie will be great." No, no, it still sucked. So,
Yeah, it was bad.
so but yeah, I thought the trailer was great. I'm looking forward to it. We did get a date, which I'm not sure we had before, which is oh shit, I should have wrote it down. I think it was May 5th.
How about May 25th?
May 25th. There you go. I knew it was something with a 5.
I don't know. I'm throwing stuff out there, but I think it was the 25th.
Yeah, it could be. But I know it was in May because I was thinking, whoa, because I think Infinity Wars is May.
Yeah, May 5th.
Yeah. So like we're gonna have Infinity War, we're gonna have Deadpool, and I'm sure there's gonna be something else in May too. There's gonna be a couple other, because May is always a big month for movies. So we're gonna have some serious movies competing with each other in May and June, and that's gonna be awesome. Like I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm kind of excited to see the box office. I mean, I know they will argue that it's a different demographic that's going to go see Deadpool that's versus what's going to go see Infinity War, but they're still both comic book fans, and
Yeah. Hey,
yes,
I will see them both.
Yeah.
So.
If
And by the way, it's May 18th.
that's Deadpool.
Yeah.
There you go. You looked it up and found the right answer. May 18th.
Well,
which
it was
is
the
nowhere
25th,
close.
and then they moved it up a week.
Oh, okay.
So I was partially right. We'll go with that.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't anywhere right because I didn't even know it was the 25th, and I just apparently got a 5 out of my ass. Maybe it was me looking up when Infinity War was going to be released. Maybe that's where I got it mixed up. I don't know. There's really no hope for me here, guys.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be awesome because May 18th is Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
The following week is the Han Solo movie.
Oh, that's right. That's what else was coming out in May. Which
Yeah,
that trailer got dropped.
we got
during
it
the Super
all
Bowl.
going on.
Yeah. No, so, okay, we should talk about this a little bit because I've heard a lot of mixed feelings on the Han Solo trailer. What are your thoughts on the Han Solo trailer?
All right, so the guy who plays Han Solo.
Yeah.
The first time I saw him was in a movie called Beautiful Creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watch the trailers for Beautiful Creatures, and you get the impression that it's about the girl.
Right.
And you watch the movie and you're like, the guy stole the movie. And then you realize after a while that, okay, this movie was actually about him, but it's not sold to you that way.
Right.
And the kid did such a great job. I was like, oh, I'm a fan of this kid. His name is like Alden Ehrenreich. Ehrenreich?
Sure.
Yeah.
Easy for you
that.
to say.
Ehrenreich. Reich.
There you go.
However you pronounce that. So when they announced he was Han Solo, I'm like, all right, that's pretty awesome. I like this kid. And I watched the trailer and I'm like, okay, I'm not disappointed. I think this is going to be pretty good. And then I saw fan reaction, and a few people posted that the kid has no charisma. And so I'm wondering, from somebody who maybe hasn't seen Beautiful Creatures, did you feel the same way? Maybe my view of it is colored because I like the kid from a previous piece of work.
Well, anyone who watches a trailer and says the kid doesn't have any charisma, dude, it's 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes, and it's not even 2 minutes of him on the screen the entire time. I mean, there's no, like, Give me a break. You can't tell if the kid's got charisma on there or not. I'm sorry, you barely saw his face. So no, I don't agree with them at all.
Okay, good,
I think they're
good.
overreacting. Now, do I think he's going to be the best person to play Han Solo? I mean, honestly, I'm I'm excited to see this movie because I want to see stories about Han Solo when he was younger because I think Han Solo is a cool character. But on that same side of it, my entire life there has been one Han Solo.
Yes.
And now it's not that Han Solo. And it's going to be hard to make that disconnect. And I think that is what a lot of people, they're not saying that's the problem, but I think that's part of the problem. Like, I think you have a lot of people that are having a hard time separating Harrison Ford from Han Solo. You have a look and an image in your head already. It's like those times when you read a book and that's never been turned into anything. You just read a book and they describe somebody a certain way, and in your head you get this picture of what they're supposed to look like and how they're supposed to sound. And then they make a movie and they put an actor in that doesn't like fit with what is in your head, and it messes up the entire story. I think that's what this Han Solo movie is going to have to fight against, and it's going to have this constant battle between the old school Harrison Ford is and will always will be Han Solo, and the people who just want the Han Solo character story and they don't care who, as long as the actor's good and portrays the character the same way. It could be anybody.
Yeah. And, for the people who it's Han Solo, it's Harrison Ford or nobody, we have not perfected the ability to make people not age.
Yeah.
So you're just going to have to get over it.
Right. Because the last thing you want to do is try to see Harrison Ford do any sort of high flying stunts or any really good action, which is what you'd kind of expect from a Han Solo, movie. Like, I'm not expecting it to be a drama by any means. I mean, this is going to be an action flick.
Yeah.
This is going to be him.
I just don't think
stuff.
a 70-year-old Han Solo or Harrison Ford is going to be able to play a 25-year-old Han Solo.
Yeah. I don't think that's really going to work.
No.
So.
But I loved the trailer, to be honest. It makes me want to see the movie. Totally forgot Emilia Clarke was in it. Yeah. And then when I saw the trailer, it's like, holy cow. It's Daenerys Stormborn. Awesome. But, that's pretty dang cool. And, I knew Donald Glover was Lando Calrissian, which I think was perfect casting. So I think that's going to be great.
I mean, that's also a little bit of dumb luck that you have, that he fits that role so perfectly. I mean, I think that's excellent. I think that is excellent, and
me too.
I think it's going to be a fun movie. I'm looking forward to it. So, I mean, we'll see. It doesn't have to be, and I think a lot of the times, I think people just with these Star Wars movies, I think people get their expectations up so high, and they need to just come off the ledge a little bit and enjoy it for what it is. I mean,
well, people are used to, in their mind, young Han Solo was Han Solo from Episode 4.
Yeah.
Did I just go robotic?
Yep. Hold on. I'm going to fix this, and I'm going to fix this live. So hold on. Hit that button, and then I do this, and I do this, and alright.
There, you sound better. How about me?
Now we sound good.
All right. As I was saying, people have Han Solo, young Han Solo. They've already thought they've seen him. Harrison Ford about 30 years old in Episode 4.
Yeah.
So it's hard to, say, oh, there's a younger Han Solo, and it's not Harrison Ford. I do understand that desire to have somebody who's identical to Harrison Ford playing the part, but I don't know. I think this adaptation is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to see how he and Chewie become best buds, and I'm can't wait to see the Millennium Falcon as a brand new vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they gave us little hints showing the one wall there where everything's nice and white and it's not dingy like it was, and so
Right.
that's cool, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be cool. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I think a lot of people just need to relax a little bit and remember that they're trying to tell a story that wasn't there beforehand, and that
Before Han,
yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. They're trying to put something out there that wasn't there before, and they're trying to make that work. And hey, we'll see what happens.
yeah, I'm liking it. I mean, the month of May is going to be fantastic. Infinity Wars on the 4th, Deadpool 2 on the 18th, Han Solo on the 25th. I may just have to take the entire month of May off from work just so I can see those things over and over again because I think all three of them are going to be fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. So let's see what else we got here. Let's go with Altered Carbon has been released. It was released just this last weekend on Netflix. You've made it through. There's 10 episodes, right, total?
Yeah, and I believe I'm getting ready to watch episode 8.
So, and I've watched at least two, maybe three of them. I can't remember which one I finished up on. Um, what do you? I'll give you my first take on it. I think this is actually a pretty good show. I'm enjoying it. Um, the I'm still a little confused on the importance of like why the murder mystery is really that big of a deal for anyone other than that one, the one guy who actually got killed. Um, but I'm sure that it's gonna. I mean, I'm sure there's more storytelling. It is really good storytelling, and I will say the visuals for it is stunning.
Yeah, they're
I mean,
amazing.
that is incredible, and I I don't know what else to say other than the visuals is flat out awesome. I will say if this is the future in what was the date that they gave? It's 2384.
Yeah.
If this is 2384, man, people really decided not to wear very much clothes.
No, what's funny is just before it was released on Netflix, of course, there are reviews about it. And
Right.
one of the reviews was talking about how Joel Kinnaman's butt pretty much has a starring role in the TV show because it's out all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's Netflix. It's gritty. There's going to be nudity. There's sex scenes.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, I
it
mean,
is what it is.
this is Netflix is the new HBO is what it is. And I'm not bashing it for that by any means. Like I didn't have necessarily a problem with it. I just thought it was kind of funny. So I just thought it was kind of comical that there was all this. It just seems like everywhere you turn, he's looking at something and somebody's not wearing any clothes. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he has
Yeah.
a
So I'm looking forward to the future.
yeah. I mean, the second episode, he has a full-on conversation with what I can only assume is a prostitute, and she's just standing there, butt naked, and it's just like it's nothing. It's
Yeah.
she doesn't even attempt. Like once she realizes he's not there for anything other than just get information from her, um, it she didn't even seem bothered by the fact that she was standing there. So I think it's really funny. There was one point, I think it was even in the second episode, where Joel Kinnaman's standing there full frontal, and the AI butler guy is holding up a bag in front of him.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like, God.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Well,
it
one
was.
thing, when you started seeing trailers on this, my first thought was this is going to be totally a reimagining of, um, dang it, this is what happens when you get old, you forget stuff. Blade Runner,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and but then it talked about how it's not it. He's from a long time ago, and he's been basically his consciousness transported into this new body, and it's like, okay, so that's a different twist, but it's enough of a twist that it's a completely different story, and I'm happy about that. It's not just Blade Runner, part two or whatever,
right.
which is great, but it also got me to thinking, well, between Altered Carbon, Blade Runner, and there was a third one, dang it, I can't remember what it was. Oh, the kind of the scene on Nowhere in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the future is an open air market where it's raining all the time and everything's Asian.
Yeah, yeah,
Not the people, but the lighting, the signs, the restaurants,
yeah,
everything's Asian. It's
yeah.
like, all right.
Yeah, it has that feel of Tokyo is really the future.
Yeah.
It's Tokyo. Present day Tokyo is the future. Everywhere is going to look like Tokyo, and I mean, hey, it's possible. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. They're so much more advanced in so many different areas than we are. That is definitely possible.
Well, we've been watching another show. I think you may have watched this. Dang it, there it goes again. Mine just goes blank. Jeez. It's a Sci-Fi Channel show. It is. Dang it, I keep wanting to say The Ascension, but it's not. The Expanse. Have you seen any of The Expanse?
I don't think I have.
Okay, well, there's a whole scene or two, maybe it's an episode or two that take place in basically like an asteroid called Eros, and it's Tokyo. So I don't know why futuristic sci-fi people think that's what the future is going to look like. Maybe it is because our attention spans are getting shorter. We like the flashy lights and the shiny objects, and even in the Expanse there was a Plinko parlor, the gambling they do in Tokyo.
Yeah.
There was even one of those in there. So it's totally, in Demolition Man, what Taco Bell won the fast food wars. In the future, I think Tokyo just won everything.
Yeah. Yeah,
They
exactly.
gloss over that part and just go straight to space travel. But before faster than light space travel happens, people, Japan takes over. We all become citizens of Tokyo. Just so you know, be prepared.
Right, right. Yeah, it is definitely interesting, and I mean, I don't know. I'm not against it. I think that's kind of the thing is I'm not against this show. I'm not against the look of Tokyo either, really. I mean, I think it kind of fits with what it is, and so I don't know. I'm excited to finish it. I mean, I've still got quite a few episodes. I'm not I'm not halfway through yet. Now that with you being so much farther and almost done, are you liking where it takes you? You enjoying the ride so far?
I'm enjoying the ride quite a bit, and it does give you reasons to realize that this guy's murder was important to more people than just the guy who was murdered. So I'm really curious to see why it's important, actually, instead of me guessing by
Right.
the little bits and pieces that they give us. But yeah, it is important. It is more than just rich guy wanting to find out who tried to assassinate him. But I don't know. I'm liking the I don't know the chemistry between Joel Kinnaman's character and the female cop.
Yeah.
That builds a little bit, and I think it works pretty well. You'll find out why later. Um, I
Do they?
like,
Do
I
they?
love the hotel, the
Yes.
AI for the hotel.
Yes.
That
Absolutely.
guy is fantastic.
So I got a couple questions, and I know we don't want to get into any spoilers or anything. Um, but I'm hoping these are at least generic enough that, or you can give generic enough answers that it's not going to affect anything. One,
Okay.
do we find out? Okay, I think it's the second episode. The AI butler guy, the hotel manager guy, goes
Poe.
into a poker game. Yeah, Bo. He goes into a poker game with what I think is other AI, like AIs that are in this world.
Right.
Do you get any more on who those people are and what they do, or is that really the only?
So far, that's the only interaction with them.
Because I want to know more about what those guys are, and what, because it almost made it sound like they hated, or that they almost hated humans. It was almost like we're better than they are. We don't need them. Instead, we're going to take advantage of them and use them for our own enjoyment,
Yeah.
which I
That's
thought
the
was
only
kind of
time
funny.
we see them. And I always go by the theory that no scene in TV shows like this is a wasted throwaway scene.
Yeah.
It means something. So I'm expecting that to mean something in the last couple of episodes, but so far nothing.
Okay.
And
The
sometimes when that happens, that's the whole reason for the whole show
Right.
is the stuff they're not telling you till the end. So I'm curious.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I am too. So I really kind of want to know more about them. The other one is he's he's been called what, an envoy, right?
Yes, Envoy.
Do they talk more about what these envoy, like? Does does he have an ability or something? Is this envoy thing like an ability thing to him? Because it's almost like he's someone else referred to him, and I think it might have been the chick cop, is like that he could read minds or something like that, and he's like, no, it's not like reading minds, it's like something else, you know. But it's like this. I want to know more about that group of people.
You get an entire episode of them.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty much one entire episode of flashback to when he becomes an envoy.
Okay.
It's good stuff. You don't mind it. In fact, while I'm watching it, it's like, wow, we're not going back to the future stuff. We're staying here, and I'm good with it. That's usually when it's a big episode that's completely different. I'm like, all right, we're just killing time because I had to use up an episode, but it actually works for the story.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
It
it's
it,
good stuff.
it seems like there's something in his past that I want to know more about Kovac's past.
You find out quite a bit.
Cool. Cool. Very good. Very good.
Some of the stuff you're like, oh shit. So it's good.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm expecting. So, um, all right, now I think it's time to get into the real meat and potatoes.
All right, let's do this.
So we're gonna talk about this show called Broadchurch. Now, Broadchurch is um, it's it's a British or an English television crime drama. It is 3 seasons, or the British call them 3 series, and that's it. It was originally written to be three, but the first season was written to be self-contained. it's written by a guy named Chris Chibnall. Um, his, he's done a couple of spin-offs. He actually did a US version um, of this show specifically that was called Grace Point. It was on Fox, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Aired in 2014, and David Tennant was actually the main character in that one as well. But it only ran 10 episodes, and it only ran for one season. So it
You
was
know
based.
what's you know what should get people excited about Broadchurch?
What's that?
There are two doctors, Doctor Who's in it.
There are. That there are. Um, yeah, it's. You know what? I didn't even think about that. There really is.
David
Um,
Tennant and Jodie Whittaker.
yeah, because she's the new one. Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't even think about that watching that until like I'm like there you said that and I'm like yes there are that is awesome. um this show okay, I'm gonna give a little breakdown on it because it's important for where I want to take the conversation of this show. I've only watched the first season. I have not watched 2 and 3. The first season, I forced myself to finish, and it was not because it wasn't good. It was way, way good. And um, so the premise of this story is that it takes place around a 11-year-old. I can't remember how old he actually was. 11-year-old boy dying. That is the very first part of the show. Is
Right.
this kid dying, and it is a crime drama to figure out who did it, and it happens in this small town where everybody knows each other. They all, you know, everybody knows. Well, they think they know everything about everyone there, and they come to find out that they don't. And the grief and everything that is on the mom and dad, the mom being Jodie Whittaker, and they have another child. You end up in the show that the mom, Jodie Whittaker's character, is pregnant with another kid, and it's how they deal with that. All on top of solving this murder mystery. David Tennant is the new kind of head of the police department of this investigation.
Yeah, he's the detective chief. What do they call them
Yeah,
over there?
yeah, I can't.
He's the DCI,
Yes, yeah,
the chief inspector.
right. The chief inspector, and so he came from somewhere else, so he's got a past to him, even an unsolved child murder that he wasn't able to finish. That past then comes back in, into this. You've got, and then on top of that, you've got the police force that knows all the people in the neighborhood, in the town, and they're having to investigate and find things out. And um, at first I was okay. For those of you that don't know, because you haven't watched haven't listened to us talk before, I have two boys. I have one of them 9 and one of them 5, or I guess 8 and 5. They both their birthdays are coming up, which is why I keep making them older than they are. Um, but so watching the like you don't really see him. You don't see the boy die. You just they find him on the beach, and at that point, I'm okay. Like, I'm not as torn up about it. It's a thing. But as this show goes on, as each episode goes through, like, I became more and more kind of depressed with the family, like, watching them go through this. Like, Jodie Whittaker and Andrew Butchen, who play the mom and dad of this boy, were amazing. I mean, the acting, the writing, the way the way this was directed and just put together is like it pulls at your heartstrings. I mean, it at least it pulled at mine, and I don't know, maybe I had a, I've got a little bit of a connection having kids and kind of being can empathize with the parents in that role. It's it's really good. And the twists and turns that they put you through were they kept you on your toes.
They did, and they gave nothing away.
The
It's
Go ahead.
it's um I think that what's fascinating about the show is you said it's a small town. Everybody knows everybody except for David Tennant.
Right.
And his detective sergeant working with him, played by Olivia Colman, is the mother of the slain boy's friend.
Yeah.
So these families were tight to begin with.
Yeah.
So it kind of colored her way of treating them. You know, what's the first thing, a family member gets killed, the police are going to look at the surviving family members first, to check them off or arrest them.
Yeah.
And of course, she's too close to it, and it's like, well, they couldn't have done it, and she's getting in the way because of this small town, everybody knows everybody feel to it. And I thought that was pretty fascinating. What I also liked about it is there's another show, and it's on Netflix, called The Killing. I've talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
It also stars Joel Kinnaman. It has kind of the same idea behind it, and that is it shows you the effect of murder on everybody.
Yeah.
Not just the person who was killed, not just the family members left behind, but the police, the friends, the community,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
And it's all negative. It's all bad. Luckily, in Broadchurch, it's not as dark as The Killing, but
Right.
it's still there, and it still is a heavy weight.
But because it still goes, and it still goes on some dark, some, I wouldn't say, not like pitch black type dark, but goes some dark paths. So much
It does.
that a guy ends up taking his own life. An older man ends up taking his own life because people turned on him thinking he was the one who killed the boy, when in reality, he didn't have anything to do with it. He wasn't, like, nothing. He was nowhere near where it needed to go, but the stuff about his past came up, and it just, it caused the entire community to turn on this one guy, and he
Yes.
couldn't handle it, and he ends up killing himself. And it's
It's
just,
the small town thing.
yeah. Yeah, well, and it's that mob mentality also. People jump to conclusions. They see one little thing and they think they know all the answers, and it I take it back to, if you take it out and you put it in more of a societal view, it's what happens with everything. Somebody posts something on Facebook and you think you understand it better than other people, and so you chime in with your 2 cents because you're right and they're wrong. And no, that's not how this works. Like, you don't know all the answers.
Yeah, why aren't the cops doing anything about this? Here
Yeah.
here it is. It's black and white. Why aren't they doing anything?
Right.
And it ended up being, the mom mentality, as usual, was wrong,
Right.
and it cost somebody dearly.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, I mean, it was really good. And so, and to chime on with each one of these characters, in a show like this, it's all written normally it's all written up ahead of time and they go record this thing all at once. In doing a little bit of research on this show, I thought it was really interesting that uh, Chibnall, the writer, he decided he wanted to keep the secrets, who actually did it, a secret for as long as possible, and
Yeah.
not just from the public, but from all the people in the show as well, from all the actors. So they recorded the first 6 episodes, um, or I guess yeah, they recorded it in chunks, and they got through. I think there's 10 episodes total in the first season. I think is correct. No, only 8. 8 episodes. There's 8 episodes in all the seasons. So they got through. Um, they actually ended up only writing the script. They were only given scripts through for episodes 1 through 5. Then they were given episodes 6, 7, and 8. Once they were done, they were released all at once over a single weekend, but only to the cast and the crew that needed the scripts to be
Yeah.
able to record those episodes. So they kept it all down, and then they ended up filming all of those all at once. And according to some articles and stuff that I found and Wikipedia things, it ended up coming down to only 29 people of the entire cast and crew of this show knew who the killer, or the suspected killer, actually was, which I think is incredible. And I think that to leads to the way the actors played their characters within the show itself. There was no, because a lot of the times, I mean, this is a perfect example. I enjoyed watching Law and Order back in the day. Law and Order, you could tell after you watched a couple episodes of it, you could pick up on who did it based off the way the actors acted within the show. So you could pick up little clues on either the way the killer acted within the show, because he already knew he did it, and they give little hints away as you're doing it, and it was nonverbal things, it wasn't, but it was just, you could tell by their body language. And eventually those shows ended up trying to catch on to that, and they tried to use even some of those cues to misdirect you. This one, none of these people acting as you're watching the show knew the end.
Yeah, even the person who ended up being convicted or arrested for it, you could tell, no clue,
Yeah.
they were the killer.
Yeah. It hit it so perfectly by not knowing. It's that it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And I think it just, I think that led to the whole thing. It just helped. It helps bring that emotional attachment to everything.
Yeah.
Um,
So were you like me when it was revealed? You went, I did not see that coming.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the whole time when it started to come clear, it's like, no frickin' way.
yeah,
Last person I would expect. There's no way, and it ended up being that. It's like, holy cow.
yeah.
And then everything that the everybody went through that whole season got so much worse.
Yes, yeah,
You didn't think it could get any worse, and it did. And it's like, holy shit.
yeah. And it makes me, so I have this whole mixed feeling thing on whether or not I want to watch the second season or not, because I know the second season kind of continues on the same thing. But man, it was such an emotional roller coaster watching this and trying to stay detached, but the way the actors portrayed their characters and the way this story was written, it just kept dragging me in deeper and deeper. And it's like, it it was almost painful to watch. I got so invested into it. There was one point where, um, because I watched a lot of these shows while my wife's trying to go to sleep, and she she was watching it, and I turn it on, and she's like, "Oh, you're watching this show again? This thing is depressing. Like this is brutal. How do you watch this before bed?" And it's like, I don't know. I don't really want to, but I want to. You know, it's
But
like
I need to know. I
I
need to know.
I want to know who did it. Like I think I know, and I want to watch to find out. And of course, I knew nothing. Um, I want to know more about some of these characters, though. Some of the people from the town. I want to know more about what they all went through. Not really what they went through, but I want to know their backstory. And
Yeah.
I know they've got a backstory for all of them. And I'm sure we'll get a little bit. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we don't get any more of them because it's kind of one of those things. Is there's not really much you can. But
Well, it's a small town, so there's only so many murders.
right,
So the second season is really tough to watch at times.
yeah,
I mean, it makes you angry in some places. Well, it did me anyway.
yeah,
Because it gets frustrating. Because you know the answer, but you see the way things are getting twisted, and you're like, no! And it kind of has that ending to it that you got some closure, but you're not happy with it.
right.
And so, I don't know. I just highly recommend this to anybody, especially if you like British TV shows.
I would
Um,
even make the argument, even if you don't like British TV shows, like because to me, this and I think Chibnall kind of showed this by doing Grace Point, which is just a straight like you read the synopsis of Grace Point, it is the first season of Broadchurch. It's not changed at all.
oh, really?
All they did was change the names to make them more American, and even then, or to just change it just enough to make it different from Broadchurch. But the synopsis, same stuff. You know, I bet you could probably watch it and it'd be and it just fit the same way. Maybe there's just a few things that are different because the kid had a paper route. Well, there's not really paper routes anymore that kids have, here. So maybe it's a little different. Maybe he changed it up a little bit for something like that. But um, it it this is I recommend this for anyone who likes. If you like true crimes, if you like those crime dramas, you like something that feels a little more substantial than stuff like Law and Order and some of those. You want to see the real feeling and emotion behind stuff. If you want to see a show that has real drama, check out Broadchurch because that is real drama. And the last thing I want to put to it is I got to give them credit for the music, the score for this thing. I'm not a big music guy, but the score makes like it the music behind all of this is really good. Um, it it's just like watching a horror movie that the music starts building and it causes your adrenaline to start running and gets you a little more excited or a little more nervous, scares you at times. This music draws out your emotion while you're watching this show just as much as just watching the show. Like it wouldn't be complete without the score that went behind it. It was really good, and I'm not a big that's not normally something I can usually watch stuff with it
Okay.
muted and just the
Listen,
subtitles on and get the same emotion out of stuff. This this was really good. So I
yep.
recommend you going and checking out Broadchurch.
I recommend you finishing the last two seasons. And when you're done with that, find another show on Netflix that takes place on the other side of the pond called Hinterland.
Okay.
It takes place I think this one takes place in Wales.
Okay.
And it's just as good.
All right.
It is just as good. It's the DCI that doesn't fit where he's at and all. It's just as good.
All right. I'll have to check that one out too then.
Yeah, I loved that one as well.
So there you goes, everybody's. That is what we have for a show tonight.
It's all TV.
That's right. TV on TV on TV. I don't have anything else to throw out there. Do you got anything else you want to throw out there before we wrap this sucker up?
Let's see. Since I'm making recommendations, you also need to see The Killing.
Okay. Yeah, that one's on my list. It's queued up on my Netflixers.
I think watch Hinterland after Broadchurch and then watch The Killing last.
Okay.
British TV, even though it went dark, like you said, it doesn't go black, doesn't go pitch black. The Killing does.
Okay.
Just so you know. Little FYI for you.
It's always good to know.
Yeah.
That is good to know.
And The Killing, just so everybody who's thinking about watching it, the payoff for that show is the very last episode of the very last season.
Oh, wow.
The show is good. Don't get me wrong. And each season there's some closure, but the ultimate payoff for the whole damn thing is the last episode in season 4.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And it just ties it all together, and you're like, holy shit, this is what this whole show was about. Wow. Didn't see that coming. And it's fantastic.
That's deep.
It is. It is. When you see it, you're going to be like, oh, I know what he's talking about now. Okay.
Well, I'll have to. I'll add that one to my queue. It's gonna have to. It's gonna have to fit around a few other things that are coming into Netflix. I should probably throw out there. We have 1 month before the new Jessica Jones comes out. 1 month.
Woo!
1 month. So, I got a lot of stuff to watch to try to fit in before that. Because once that comes, I'm not watching anything except Jessica Jones.
I don't blame you.
I love me some Jessica Jones. I love Jessica Jones so much that I think there's a... I'm trying to think. I think I actually have a character in the Geekvice Gaming XCOM 2 season that's Jessica Badass Jones.
There you go.
And she walks around with a shotgun and shoots people. So,
as she should.
You can't have somebody with superhuman strength that, you know, in XCOM it doesn't really work that way, but you can have somebody that fires a gun with a crazy amount of force while you're standing right next to him. So that's what I have Jessica Jones for.
Well, it's winter, it's cold. You'll need something to watch. So after Jessica Jones, get Hinterland and The Killing watched.
There we go. All right, so that's what we'll do. That's what we've got for tonight. Be sure to go check out our blog at geekvice.blogspot.com. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/geekvice, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at tiny.cc/geekvice. That allows you to come join us live while we're recording so that you can hang out with us, and you can even chat with us while we're recording these shows. And maybe catch random episodes of Geekvice Gaming when I push the wrong button to record. You can also follow us on Twitter.
Hunt.
Yeah, the scavenger hunt. Follow us on Twitter. You can follow that man over there at Kip Killigan. You can follow me at Geekvice. And, of course, you can always reach us by email at geekvice@gmail.com. Thanks, everyone, for listening to our ramblings, and we will see you next time.
Later.
This podcast is part of the Podcast Arcade Network.